Hey all, Glenn Kirschner here. Please enjoy this video on the Political Voices Network.
Trump sounds the alarm for Americans paying off porn stars. If this can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. Let that be a lesson to all of us, right, Glenn, who sleep with a porn star and then pay them off to, yeah.
It can happen to anyone who pays off porn stars and falsifies business records to gain unfair advantage in a presidential election. You bet that can happen to anyone.
So he posted a heavily edited video pledging to liberate America. That means he also claimed the November election will produce the real verdict. Okay, yes, the next one. Trump can be heard pledging to liberate America from villains once and for all in what he calls the final battle. We will demolish the deep state, blah, 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 blah. So, one of the things overshadowed now by the verdict is that, Judge Merchan has been getting very serious death threats. I mean, I have to say, Glenn, one of my fears was the jury was going to acquit because they're scared to death to get killed by Trump's MAGA hordes, and so, boy, do you have to applaud the courage of this judge and this jury, right? But, I mean, that still remains a fear, doesn't it?
I am concerned for the safety of everybody who is involved in the endeavor of holding Trump accountable for his crimes, but it really, at the end of the day, I don't want this to sound callous. It doesn't matter because you cannot adjust the way you do prosecutorial business based on the fallout, based on how some folks might react to Donald Trump being held accountable for his crimes. So I am hoping they will all be safe, and I'm trusting they will all be safe. But this was a jury of Donald Trump's peers. And don't forget, Donald Trump's lawyers picked this jury. They were so happy that one of the members of the jury got all his news from Truth Social. They thought, we've already won. No, even Mr. Truth Social saw that the evidence proved you're guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and he took his oath as a juror seriously. So this is a really good day for the rule of law. Unfortunately, Seth, the byproduct is the only way Donald Trump will now have to attack this result is to continue to undermine the public's confidence in our institutions of government, in the rule of law, and that is an unfortunate byproduct of this conviction.
Speaking of unfortunate, I don't know if you watched any Fox News or heard any Republicans yesterday, but what a sad day in that way. Un-American is the only, word I mean, just completely denigrating the judicial system. Who is this guy? One attorney representing Trump in the criminal case said that Trump may pursue a malicious prosecution lawsuit against Alvin Bragg. These are just the sorest losers in the history of the world. He said, I think the case for malicious prosecution is extraordinarily strong. This is not a case that would have been brought against any defendant not named Donald Trump. They keep saying that. And as Norm Eisen said, this is the strongest fraudulent business practices case in the history of New York, right? This is why it's 34 felonies.
It's probably the weakest or most challenging of his 4 criminal prosecutions that were brought against him. This was the tougher one to prove in many ways. The next 3, you're going to get a guilty verdict in even less time than the New York jury delivered its guilty verdict. And Donald Trump will be prosecuted in all of those cases. I'm not a guy who watches polls. I'm not a political pundit or expert. But I'll tell you, when I saw the poll of Republican voters who were Trump supporters that said something like 20% of them said if he's convicted of felonies, I won't vote for him. His support continues to peel away, and I don't think, I am at ease with what's going to happen in November because I do not believe he's going to be elected, and I think this is further evidence in support of that conclusion.
Yeah. So obviously the whole case about cheating, every case about Trump is about cheating in some way, right? So not surprising his lawyer tried to cheat. You tweeted, sadly, Trump lawyer Todd Blanche stooped to his client's level, improperly telling the jury not to send Trump to prison. To mitigate this damage, Judge Merchan told the jury that was improper. This again proves the point. Everything Trump touches dies. I mean, Todd Blanche knew you can't do that, right?
Of course he knew that. Every criminal litigator knows that first-year law students know it. He knew it. This was a knowing and intentional violation of the rules of ethics. And, it's like a dagger through the heart of a criminal litigator when a judge turns to the jury and says, the defense attorney just did something improper. I'm instructing you to disregard it. that will color everything else that Todd Blanche urges those juries to believe that comes out of his mouth. But he blew it in opening statement, Steph, when he lied to the jury and said Donald Trump never had a sexual encounter with Stormy Daniels. The evidence proved that definitively to be a lie. And then the problem for the Todd Blanches of this sad endeavor is the jurors, every time Todd Blanche says, oh, believe me that he didn't know about hush payments. Oh, believe me that he didn't know about falsified business record. Oh, believe me when I say this was all to protect Melania's feelings. You know what the jurors are thinking to themselves? You've already lied to me in opening statements, sport. Why am I going to credit anything else you said? And now at the end of the trial, the judge just told us you argued something improper to us. Yeah. Bye-bye, Todd.
Yeah, and Melania's absence certainly backed that up. You said a conspiracy is a criminal agreement between two or more people to commit crimes. Trump's attorney just argued it doesn't matter if there was a conspiracy to win the election. Every campaign's a conspiracy to promote a candidate. This is false. He is gaslighting the jury. I mean, they keep going with this. I don't see what the crime is. What's the crime? I don't see what he did right. It's like... It's just, I'm glad that we're not taking crazy pills when we watch this. And now their big thing is, oh, he's going to win on appeal. Glenn, what are his chances on appeal? Tell us what happens next.
Yeah, his chances are like Mr. Blutarski's grade point average in Animal House, 0.0. Those are his odds of winning on appeal, and I won't waste any more breath on it.
I'm not drunk, but fat and stupid is no way to go through life, is your point? Okay. Yeah. Mr. Blutowski. So now July 11th is the sentencing, and the Republican National Convention starts July 15th. Is there anything that is going to delay the sentencing? What happens with appeals and yada, yada?
Yeah, you know what I really look forward to, Steph? I look forward to Donald Trump's acceptance speech when he's on that prison phone talking through plexiglass. I hereby, can you hear me through the plex? Hey, guard, give me another minute. I hereby accept. That's what I look.
Are you doing a skit?
Steph.
You're doing a skit right now. Are you getting ready for Boston, Sexy
I'll be
Liberal?
Here in Nashville all week. Please tip your waiters and waitresses. Thank you.
I love you, Glenn Kirschner.
Yes.
Thanks for doing this. We
I
love you.
Back, Steph.
All right,
see you guys.
bye, honey. Yay.
Hey all, Glenn Kirschner here. I hope you'll join me on my new audio podcast, Justice Matters. I'll be using my 30 years as a federal prosecutor and Army JAG to unpack, break down, and explain the legal issues of the day, particularly where the legal intersects with the political. Please look for Justice Matters with Glenn Kirschner wherever you generally get your podcasts.